Mars conjunct Jupiter in Gemini, August 14th. This is big energy, kicking off one of the most wild weeks of the year. An exciting time to be alive. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the Mars-Jupiter conjunction in Gemini that is kicking off some of the most complex, nuanced, layered, exciting, shocking astrology of the entire year. And I just want to start by saying one of the biggest questions, one of the most common questions I get from people is that good or bad? And I just think you're asking the wrong question when that's what you want to know. That's not how life is. It's not black and white. Nothing is all good or all bad. You know, sometimes there are blessings in what seem to be curses, and sometimes there are curses in what seem to be blessings. I never know how something is going to translate for any individual unless I'm specifically looking at their chart. So I encourage you to contact me for a reading if you want to know specifically how all of these energies are going to affect you. We are already in the cosmic riptide as I record this video. The Mars-Jupiter conjunction started building really August 7th. So you may already be aware of some of the themes that are coming to a head. But there are a lot of great things that can come from a Mars-Jupiter conjunction, and I want to start with that. It has to do with a lot of confidence. It has to do with exuberant, big, confident energy. It has to do with big announcements, big launches. It's definitely big energy. Jupiter is the great benefic, and Jupiter magnifies and expands. And Mars is the god of war, but Mars is also our drive and how we go for our goals. So this can be, depending on like which angle you're coming at it from, this can have to do with really big wins or really big losses. I mean, this is champion energy, but at the same time, whenever there's a champion, there's also a loser, or the person who thought that they were going to be the champion that's coming in second place. So, again, if you want to know how it would personally affect you, contact me for a reading. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of a series of really big alignments that are happening over the next week. And astrology is really a holistic art, so you really have to look at the whole picture and how it all relates to each other to understand exactly how it's going to manifest. Astrologers are not psychics. We are translating a language, and oftentimes this ends up resulting in very accurate predictions about what's going to happen, but it's not because we're psychic, it's because we're reading what the stars are reflecting, and it's as above, so below. And the energies unfolding beginning August 14th and going through August 20th are so complex that it's almost hard for me to give a full interpretation all at once. So I'm going to break it down into these smaller videos, and again, really encourage you to contact me for a reading, because time is not linear. Time is cyclical. I think that that's one of the biggest kind of mind funks of the patriarchy, is this idea and the way that we live as if time is linear. Any given moment in time is the convergence of many different cycles. There are some shorter cycles, like the cycle of the day, or the cycle of the hour, or the cycle of the week, the cycle of the month, the cycle of the year. But there's also much larger cycles of history that are also coming to a point. And that is one thing that I would say about this next week. There are many, the 14th to the 20th, there are many cycles, very significant, impactful cycles that are all coming to a head in a very compact moment of time. And as a result, it's a wild ride. And, you know, I wanted to read from this book that I really love, The Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler, that breaks down kind of some of the things to expect when certain planetary alignments are happening. Mars, Jupiter, principles, positive, exuberant energies, wholesome physical confidence, a talent for good timing and synergy, fortunate action, impulses towards self-glorification and self-aggrandizement, an overly boisterous or rambunctious style, a philosophy of might makes right, big shot swagger. Here are some characters and themes. Good-natured boldness and enthusiasm, wholesome physical confidence, a talent for decisive timing, fortunate action, a jaunty stride, a hearty laugh, the ability to take great breaths, qualities of cooperation and synergy, courage and intelligence, effective activism, actions guided by higher ideals, the courage of one's convictions, dynamic inertia and gusto, a desire for grand adventures, glorious action, great accomplishments, the urge to launch projects and enterprises, the game is afoot, a sense of good sportsmanship, fair play and chivalry, bravery and valor, the worthy opponent, the champion, sex as a grand adventure, a feeling of positive synergy and direction and sexuality, great passion. But here are the shadow qualities. There are always a shadow. Nothing is ever just good or bad. And again, this depends on your own personal astrology. If the Mars-Jupiter conjunction is, you know, trining planets that you have in Libra or Aquarius, this is going to be very expansive, uplifting, big wins. If it's squaring planets you have in Pisces or if it's squaring planets you have in Pisces or Virgo, it can be huge losses. If it's opposing planets that you have in Sagittarius, it can be, you know, really oppositional forces that are huge. Like, if you're an artist or a creative person, it's a great seed planting point for writing or for telling a story. You know, if you're launching a business or something like that, it can be really powerful gust of wind in your sails. And so depending on where you're coming at it from, it can also be if you're trying to conceive or have a child, this could be a point of pregnancy happening, of conception happening with Mars-Jupiter conjunction. So, you know, that's why it's always good to understand your chart to know how it'll affect you personally. For the collective, Gemini rules the media, Gemini rules information, so it looks like really big headlines that are going to be coming in this cycle. In a year of huge headlines, it looks like the 14th through the 20th of August are going to be some of the biggest we've seen this year. Here are the shadow qualities as described by Ren Butler. Impulses towards self-glorification and self-aggrandizement, inordinate needs for honor, glory, and prestige, habitual bombast and stridency, obnoxious theatrics, a competitive spirit, big shot inflation. He was like a cock who thought the sun had risen to hear him crow. Philosophical extremism and controversy, pointed self-righteousness, thunderous moral power, tendencies towards hypocrisy, waste, and excess, the ideals of nationalism and expansionism, a might makes right philosophy, urges to side with the strong, the spoils of war, history written by the victors, aristocratic and genteel violence, the English country gentleman galloping after a fox, the unspeakable in full pursuit of the uneatable. Tendency towards restlessness and overexertion, acting in haste. So those are the shadow qualities. And I just wanted to stop in and kind of start with this Mars-Jupiter conjunction because it's kicking off a series of really important aspects, and I'm going to come back and start breaking them down one at a time. But if there was ever a better time to get a reading, it is, because at the same time as all of these different cycles are converging, there are many new cycles that we're beginning that are going to be telling stories of what's unfolding over the next year and a half and the next couple of years. So it's a really good time to get to know your chart and to get into alignment, because I think that one of the benefits of knowing astrology is it just doesn't hit you out of nowhere. You're not getting tossed around in the cosmic currents. You have an awareness so that you can adjust your sails accordingly. You can bring the right equipment and the right gear. You can make the choices. So this is just my starting point. This is literally the tip of the iceberg of what's going on. But this kicks it off with this feeling of what's happening is big. There are big moments unfolding. And for some, they're going to bring huge wins and huge blessings. And for others, there will be huge losses. But this is not quiet energy that's going to go unnoticed. It will be very, very, and Mars Jupiter can be very explosive as well. And when we're dealing with Gemini, we're dealing with explosive words, explosive ideas, big ideas, grand statements, a proliferation of information coming in. There can be people who are embellishing words, which if you didn't watch my Leo new moon video, we're still in that Leo new moon cycle. So watch that video, because there's a lot of valuable astrological information in there, and I'm building on that. I'm not necessarily repeating the things that I said in there, and I talked a lot about this Mars-Jupiter conjunction, the way that I was just transmitting it in that video. So definitely go back and watch that. It's posted on my YouTube in its entirety. But yeah, contact me for a reading. I'm Eliane Nicole, your astrologer and tarot reader. If you're watching this on YouTube, my email is in the notes to email me and get on the calendar. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can go to my profile bio and hit the contact button. My Instagram handle is astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. Please follow me there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the notification button. Please hit the like. Please subscribe, please leave a comment, help me out in the algorithm, guys, help me grow my channel, help me grow my following, help me grow my business. And I personally am starting shooting on a new film the day after or the day before this conjunction. So it'll still be, it's basically at the conjunction. And I didn't plan it that way necessarily, because it had to be when my cameraman and sound and all the components came together, and it just happens to be coming together. But it's a brilliant seeding point to start a new story, to start the telling of a story. So if you're a writer, if you're a filmmaker, it's really good energy to use for that. It's great energy to use for big announcements that you want to spread far and wide in the world. Again, I'm just scratching the surface of what's about to unfold. This is the first of many significant alignments that are happening, boom, 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 starting August 14th to the 20th. It is a wild ride that we are embarking on as a collective, but our souls choose to be here at this time for a purpose. This is our time in the relay race of humanity. So let's make great use of it, and let's contribute to the current in positive, exciting, creative ways. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the Mars-Jupiter conjunction, and I will be back right away with some more astrological wisdom about what we can expect to be unfolding over these coming days. Bye.